Live from the Carl Chevrolet Studios in West Des Moines, this is Iowa Live.
Welcome back to the program, everybody. Oh, we get so excited about this time every couple of months when this arrives in the mailbox. Yes, it is the Iowa History Journal, and the May-June edition is out. So we got to drag this guy in the studio with us. Publisher Michael Swanger, great to see you, sir.
Good morning, Lou. Always a pleasure.
Celebrating the 250th birthday of this great country of ours. And what do they call this again?
The semi-quincentennial.
Okay, what he said. So it's written down in here so you can memorize that. But there are a lot of things in here. Tell everybody why this is such a special issue.
It's a very special issue, Lou. And I want to say this. I get this response all the time from readers who talk about the stories in our magazine. They say, I didn't know that about Iowa. I guarantee when you read this issue, you're going to say the same thing, because there is some lost history here about our state's connection to the Revolutionary War. I don't think when you talk about the Revolutionary War that you think about Iowa, because obviously it's focused on the 13 colonies.
Okay.
What could our connection possibly be?
Right.
We didn't become a state until half a century later.
Okay.
But we have some amazing ties to the war. And what we want to do is get out in front of that 4th of July celebration that everyone's planning on.
Okay.
With our May-June issues cover story. It's written by the staff members of the State Historical Society of Iowa.
How cool is that?
Yeah, they did a wonderful job.
Good.
And we just touch on all the various aspects of how our state is connected to it. Everything from we have the only known Black Revolutionary War soldier who was buried west of the Mississippi River.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's 41 Revolutionary War veterans buried in Iowa.
Okay.
Who would have known that? We also have a connection in regards to the state holds a copy of the Declaration of Independence, an official copy, a very rare copy, and that's going to be on display this summer.
Oh, my goodness.
And we have stories about the roles of women in the war, and that's just the cover story. And then in my column, I talk about all the organizations and events across the state.
Okay, for example,
that are taking place.
What kind of organizations are planning celebrations this time around?
Well, the Daughters of the American Revolution, the Sons of the American Revolution are big. Of course, the state's going to have different events that they host. Of course, the State Historical Society as well. But then all the community events as well. And what's wonderful about this, Lou, is that if you visit the State Historical Society of Iowa's website, they have a link to all the organizations they're partnering with, as well as a fluid calendar where they're encouraging Iowans who are organizing a parade, an event, a fireworks show, anything that's related to the 4th, to contribute it to that calendar so people can continue to look at that.
So they can
calendar,
keep adding on to it.
Add on, and people know where to go.
It's like
what
a
to
shared
do on the 4th.
document.
Exactly. But I also want to remind people that it goes beyond the 4th of July. There are going to be activities scheduled throughout the rest of the year. So it's not just one day.
Okay.
I know we like to get together and we put our flags out front and we get together with family and friends and neighbors to celebrate the 4th. But this is an ongoing event throughout the year. And we're also going to have other stories as the year goes on about our connection to the Revolutionary War.
So much, and that's just first couple of stories that you're going to be able to read in this edition, the latest edition of the Iowa History Journal. But there's also a name that people are very familiar with here in the state of Iowa, Ding Darling.
Absolutely. This is the second part of our two-part series about Ding Darling, the Pulitzer Prize-winning editorial cartoonist and well-known conservationist. And the second part of our series in our May-June issue focuses on his conservation work and everything that he did. I mean, he's just an icon of conservation in our nation.
Okay, so great. The second part of that two-part series. And also, how about Samuel Byers? Because Samuel Byers mentioned in this edition, too.
Absolutely. A Civil War soldier and poet who had a tremendous legacy in our state from the Ottumwa area. And we have a member of the Ottumwa Civil War Roundtable who wrote a great story about him. And that's another piece of Civil War history that I don't think a lot of people might know about. And they need to know about that name and about what the kind of things that he did during the war.
And what else do we have focused on?
We also have a story about renowned Iowa writer Ruth Succo. Her diary has been kind of dug up, if you will.
Okay.
And Barbara Lounsbury, who's a former professor of mine at UNI, and I almost hate to say that to her because I don't want to age her that much. So, but she's a wonderful writer, and she's written a story about Ruth, and she knows more about Ruth than anyone.
All right, folks. All that and more packed inside of the May-June edition of the Iowa History Journal. If you want to get a copy of this and find out where you can buy a hard copy of this, iowahistoryjournal.com. Michael Swanger, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Lou.
Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow on Iowa Live. Bye-bye.